Welcome everyone to a special festive Christmas episode 177. Altay here, joined by
Remote.
Yes, of the podcast, by the way. Forgot that
For the
part.
podcast. It's Christmas, and we don't really celebrate Christmas, so here we are, just another day, and we figure we're doing the podcast, and hopefully we'll have a fun time chilling with everyone here. And because it's Christmas, I'm going to open up this podcast with a confession. All right? I did something that I thought I would never do in my life. Okay?
Ooh,
Altay
pay money
doesn't
for
know
a
about
mobile
this.
game.
Altay doesn't know this either, so start taking your guesses, all right? Altay says paid money for a mobile game. I'm curious where everyone stands. I really thought I would never do this, especially as a kid. I thought, why would I do this? Am I retarded? I paid for porn. And yes, Dedicated Duck was correct. He said paid for porn. I signed up to YouPorns.
What?
Hold on. They had a Black Friday deal.
Black
All
Friday
right?
for porn.
They got me with the Black Friday deal.
Got
All right?
blacked. Omer, you guys heard that? You got blacked.
I got blacked. All right, listen. I never thought, like, with all the free content out there, I would never do it. But I'm like, you know what? I want to support these girls, all right?
Oh. Support
that's
these
why.
working single mothers.
I'm supporting. Look, hold on. I don't pay for patron thoughts, all right? Paying for YouPorn, that's better, all right? I get to support all the mattress actresses, all right? None of that patron jazz, all right? And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna point in my life where I can afford to pay. It was like, I think $50 or something for like a year and a half.
$50?
For a year and a half. It was like 18 months or 16 months.
Oh, wait, hold up. What do you even get?
18 months. Oh, maybe we'll save the rest of this conversation for later. I just wanted to throw that out there, all right?
Oh my god.
All right, I am now a premium
Hold up.
user.
You know
all
what?
right?
I've also watched those premium long ones, but you know there's a site called the Pirate Bay and others?
Yeah,
where you
of
can
course.
get the full episode or whatever.
Yeah. Everything's on sale on Pirate Bay. We know. Anyway,
All right.
this is the MMOs.com podcast. Let's stick to MMOs. We have a pretty controversial game, a bit of a dooker game that launched this last week. So Altay, why don't you take us through? I guess we don't really have a weekly raid, but this is going to be
All
our,
right.
one
This'll
of our
be
main
the weekly
conversations.
raid. So, I want to take you back in time for a minute. So close your eyes and imagine
Eyes are closed.
the very beginning of this month. So not too long ago. It's the Game Awards. All right. That weird French guy is making a fool of himself on stage and everyone's laughing. And later on, they announce a new game. Somebody does. And it's Atlas. This amazing 40,000 players, persistent world, pirate ships, claiming territory. What we all wanted, okay? And it's coming out in 2 weeks. Well, then there's a little delay, about a week, then another day of a delay. But I was there the day it was supposed to come out. And I went to the official Discord with a bunch of my buddies, including Gumble. And we had everyone was so excited. The energy was so high. There was at least like 200 people in this voice chat. They were stupid enough to have a Discord with a voice chat, an official Discord. So there's 200 people in there screaming and screeching, waiting for the servers to go up. A jolly old time, and obviously, at the end, it all came crashing down. Once again, the MMO genre and us gamers, we got swindled. It was another good old hustle, boys, and I love it.
It was quite the hustle because I think we all had good high expectations. I know we tried to taper our expectations, I think, last week because we were excited they were going from announcement to launch in such a short period of time, and the video was pretty hype. But it really, I think what you said about it being another hustle was, I think, is the best way to describe what Atlas ultimately was. Honestly, it reminded me very much of Bless Online in terms of like what we were kind of like promised and shown, and what we ended up getting. So I want to go through a quick list of short complaints. We both tried playing it at launch. I've watched a bunch of streamers try playing it as well. There's just so much wrong with Atlas that it's actually quite insane. First of all, the 40,000 players concurrent was kind of a lie. Yes, there are technically 40,000 players, but on a single server, but it's divided by regions. There's basically multiple different like channels in the game that support 150 players at once. And once you get too many players there, I think anti-lag effects like start moving players around and stuff. So like you can't connect more than 150 per channel anyway. So it's not really the 40,000 concurrent that like we were kind of hyped up to be. Instead, it's a bunch of these mini channels. But the game was extremely overloaded at launch. Extremely overloaded. That like the entire launch experience was an utter joke. I mean, to the point where like it seems like they didn't even try launching the game themselves to try it because like basically this thing's called free ports in the game. They're basically starting areas where good place to spawn. But all the free ports were, of course, full. You can't spawn in them. They're all full. But don't worry. The game gives you other places to spawn. And if you pick another spot to spawn in, you spawn, like, literally in the ocean. So you're looking around, you spawn into the ocean with a bunch of like 50 other dudes spawning in the ocean with you, and you see like an island like a mile away, and you literally for like 5 minutes you're swimming towards it, and then you run out of stamina, and then you just die because you can't recover stamina in the ocean. Okay, so I'm like, okay, this is fun. I guess I'll try spawning somewhere else. I spawned another ocean, another island, too far away for me to swim to, and I died again. And there's other people doing this too, and you just can't play the game. You just spawn in the ocean, trying to get to an island, and most of the time you can't. Eventually, you'll find a spawning location that's not in a free port that you can actually get to the island in, and from there you can at least try playing the game. I mean, obviously, the lag stuff aside, there is just so much fundamentally wrong with Atlas. It's actually cringeworthy, just how awfully designed the game is. It just seems like you're spending more than half your time in Atlas running away from snakes and wildlife. The wildlife in that game is atrocious. It's insanely overspawned. Like you land on a beach and there's like 5 snakes waiting to jump on you and 3 lions. It makes no sense. At no point can you even begin to like have fun unless you get extremely lucky and find the spot with like no wildlife. In fact, I want to show you some clips on this because it's actually insane. I found that like this one YouTube video captures my initial experience with the game quite a bit. Let me see. Go ahead and show that on stream.
All right, here we go.
This is literally most of the game that I spent hours experiencing this. Just let it run from beginning, and you'll see like just how wonky the animations are too.
I love this like cat in the water.
Yeah.
Oh, another lion.
Look at them jump around too.
Now remember, this is the same company that made Ark Survival Evolved. So I thought it would at least be where Ark is, right? But no, this is like a pre-alpha for Ark from like 5 years ago.
Yeah,
it's like
they're making
bad.
all the same like ridiculous mistakes that Ark made, including the overspawn issues. So like you spawn in the water, and luckily you spawn very close to the island sometimes, and you get there, it's full of wolves, full of crocodiles, full of snakes, and just things that are trying to kill you. And at no point can you even begin to gather resources because most of the time you're dealing with this bullshit. I mean, this game was kind of built as like a pirate game with some Ark attached to it, right? Some survival elements attached to it. But it ended up being Ark with some pirate stuff attached to it, and not the other way around. And it just you have to get really lucky and find the spot where none of this shit is happening. But I spawned through like 10 different locations, and like only one was half decent. Other ones were just insanely stupid like this. There's just so many like it's actually so cringe just how poorly like this should never have happened. It just seems like the developers didn't even launch the game themselves. All the animations are extremely wonky anyway too, and I just don't get why they couldn't put a limit on the number of spawns there were of these random like animals, because nobody thought killing these animals was fun. If you ever played Rust too, like fighting wolves and bears was never fun, but it was always cool to have a little bit of danger there, right? But like the danger in this game from the wildlife was got to a point that's extremely stupid. I want to show you another clip from the bunch of streamers obviously have a lot of clips of this game. They're all quite hilarious.
I love the Summit one. Should I show that?
Yeah, show that one. So
okay.
that's also quite a good one. I link that to you as well if you don't have it.
Okay, let me find it from you. All right, this one I liked. So this is Summit playing.
This game's good, dude. This game is fucking. This is another level of gameage right here.
Oh, right. That's beautiful.
Another wonderful Summit clip to share, and then I want put the audio up too. The audio is good for this one.
All right.
Punch.
This is the dumbest game ever created. Hey, look at this. It's the stupidest game that has ever been created. You are kidding me.
So even when you like get a boat, some crocodiles will attack you, and then eventually like 50 crocodiles will attack you because overspawn isn't a problem just on the islands. There's a billion overspawn by crocodiles in the game as well.
No, we're good.
And what's even stupider too is like you have a spawn location, you have a bed somewhere where you know, or maybe where you parked your ship, and you want to spawn there after you've died. You can't because it's got the server's already full. So you spawn some random place in the middle of the ocean, and you can't even get to where your friends are or where your initial spawn location was supposed to be, or where your bed is in the game. It just so many things were utterly wrong with Atlas. Now, I do want to say the concept behind Atlas was fun and interesting, right? But that kind of goes with Sea of Thieves as well. I think, but at least Sea of Thieves where they kind of failed on the larger scale. On the micro scale, the game is actually fun. Like they've done a lot right with Sea of Thieves, and compared to this game, Sea of Thieves is an absolute gem. Now, I would have loved to see Sea of Thieves on a much larger scale with more stuff to do and like having more players on the server. But this is just atrocious. I mean, the concepts here were good, but there was literally zero execution.
Yeah, and you know, one defense that there's if you go on if you look at the reviews or the forums, most people are complaining, obviously, but there are always a few idiots out there. Guys, it's early access. What are you complaining about? Like, dude, we are critiquing the $25 product we purchased. Okay, this wasn't a donation. It was not an investment. We didn't get shares in the company. We're not getting paid to test it. We paid $25 for this, and we are critiquing what we got for that $25. So, labeling it a beta or early access or whatever doesn't give you a pass on our ability to critique a product we purchased for a price that we paid. So yeah. I don't understand those people at all.
Yeah, this actually might be one of my favorite clips because it really just captures like how silly the game is, like with the Overspawn. So put the video up there. It's just funny that these guys just find an island full of giraffes.
Dude,
Punching them sounds fun.
This is amazing. This is a cool island.
Here, I shall demonstrate for you. You anger one, you anger them all.
This seems like a really. This seems like a really bad idea.
Oh god! The stampede!
I remember you. Run, boy! And I'm crazy.
Boys!
Who punched them? What just happened?
Dude, I want to turn around. I want to see the back of it. Oh my god.
So look at this one last clip for how poorly the spawns are done.
All right.
Like, it just seems like they didn't even like put caps on the spawns, so it created a lot of server lag as well. And there's really dumb things. So look how many fish you're gonna find in this video.
Yo, what the hell, dude? I'm at a waterfall, and there's.
You're gonna get mass levels for killing these.
Cluttered up here. What the, dude? There's like thousands of fish just cluttered over here. What in the world? Yeah. What the hell? Oh my.
How does this happen?
Just picture a
They didn't test it once before they just put it for sale.
Yeah, it really does feel like that because like sometimes, you know, we've all done this, by the way, like where we write an essay. What? Like we'll write an essay for like school, and like we're kind of embarrassed by it, so we're not even gonna proofread it. We just submit it as is. I feel like that's exactly what happened with Atlas.
They phoned it in, boys.
They just sent it in without even looking at it. And then it's just so stupid. Like how does this happen? Like, if this was like a random indie crowdfunded game, you know what? Fine. But they've made Ark. They have like what's one of the most popular, if not the most popular survival game out there. I expect a little bit more.
Yeah, and for those of you watching, even if you played over 2 hours, Steam is currently doing refunds. So I personally gonna get my refund for this game. After
I
this.
think I will too.
Yeah, and as I know, one guy in chat said he's having a good time now. The first couple days were bad. Listen. This is I feel embarrassed to have purchased this. I feel conned. I will get my money back. And then in a year or two, if it's good, you know, whatever, maybe I'll try it again. But as is, this is a con game, all right? You guys got hustled. This 2018 has been the year of the hustle, all right? We got hustled with Bless. We got hustled with Atlas. And Star Citizen has been hustling us for 10 years, but that's still going. We'll talk about that after.
I do think it almost feels like 2018 has been like the year where MMOs have jumped the shark to the point where things have just gotten so bad and they're going to keep getting even more ridiculous. Like, it's just remarkable that, like, a non-crowdfunded company would release this product as is. It just seems nothing was thought out because, like, even from the get-go, just spawning in the ocean and having to swim to the shore, which you just can't do sometimes, like, what were they thinking? It just seems obvious to me they weren't thinking. And honestly, I would say this, you know, in its current state is probably worse than Bless. You know, I did play the game last night as well, and they did fix a lot of the server lag, so you're not rubber banding as much. But there's still so much wrong with the game that's like fundamentally, like they just haven't even tweaked the numbers for spawn and stuff like that. There's just so much wrong with the game.
Yeah, it's. Oh, by the way, Omer is describing things. If you can get into the game. As Omer was playing, I was trying to play with him. Every attempt to get into the server requires at least like 10 attempts because 90% of the time you don't even get in. You could just get booted. The game crashes on the menu. So this is all assuming you get in. That's what you get greeted with. But every video you saw, every clip you saw, was accompanied by people furiously trying to reconnect as they get disconnected every few minutes. So it's even worse than it looks on those clips because you're not seeing all the disconnects and reconnect attempts.
So this is actually a clip I recorded last night. Just a random encounter with an animal. This is not an unusual encounter. These are typical physics in the game. So just mute the audio before you play it because I was watching Trout stream as I played it too. So just look at this horse's sick maneuvers. Like what?
That's right. Fallout 76, another scam, another hustle.
So one weird thing too, I think, as animals fight each other, they actually gain experience too. So like you could be like killing some like low level like animals, and then all of a sudden like level 5 like seagull, level 10 wolf, and then all of a sudden you attack a level 250 wolf that like 2-shots you, because like the wolves gain experience too as they kill other like sheep and stuff. So it's just really weird that like some alpha wolf will come out of nowhere and basically just wreck you. Like there's like a level 5 animal here. There's actually a Shroud clip where he shoots a bow at a cow, right, to kill. And then the cow turns around and just like one-shots him because the cow was like level 250. Like, what the fuck is level 250 cow doing there? Like, and in what world are cows like gonna fight you? Like, if you punch a seagull, the seagull doesn't fly away. The seagull fights back. All right, animals don't mess around in Atlas. All right, they're here to brawl. They ain't no pansies. They're down to fight. It's just there's just so many things wrong with Atlas as is, and I do recommend if you don't like what you see, definitely get a refund. Maybe the game is worth checking out way later, but like. The game isn't even like, it's not even fair to call this early access. This is like pre-alpha, pre-early access or something, because the principles are there for a good, like there's a good idea on the table. I do want to emphasize that because the idea of a pirate game that's like kind of like Sea of Thieves, but way larger in ambition. Honestly, with Ark as well, they just did Ark with pirates and had some sensible spawns, some sensible like design issue. Like the game would have been decent. Well, there'd been something there to play.
You've heard the conspiracies, right? Which I think are true at this point. So the reason, actually, this game was supposed to be a DLC for Ark, and people have found hidden menus that basically say it is an ocean. It's like DLC named Ocean, for Ark, and you can see the Ark logo and Ark menus. From like the
menus are identical. I did see the hidden menu for the single player version, and it's literally identical to the menu in Ark. But arguably, you could say that they both use the same engine. They use the same assets, but if you actually saw the Ark Ocean logo, then yeah, obviously it's gonna be some kind of mod.
Yeah, it was like listed as a DLC called Ocean.
Okay.
In like as an Ark DLC. So and obviously there's nothing wrong with turning what's supposed to be an expansion into a full-fledged game, right? Mm-hmm. But clearly they didn't do that here. And I would have loved to see. By the way, Ark is still a very successful and popular game on Steam. It's one. I think it's routinely on the top 10. Top 15 for sure. I don't know why they didn't just add on to Ark. They clearly weren't ready for this to be a separate standalone product. The servers weren't ready. The game wasn't ready. I don't know. So I think I really think they shot themselves in the foot pretty badly. They lost a lot of goodwill. And like I said, the day it was supposed to launch, I was in that channel with 200 people on voice. And everyone's screeching and hollering. You can't understand anything. And then one guy put his mic on, and he started playing some pirate song, like, Yar, har, we go, like whatever, right? Everyone got quiet. And we all listened for like 2 minutes. Because it was like a moral boosting, experience. And when he ended it, one guy's like, wow, we had a moment there. Like, well, we were all excited to play this, game where we get to be as pirates, we get to work together and build and fight. And they just shat on our dreams again. And this seems to be a very common thing. And the reason it keeps working is because there is still so much pent-up demand for MMORPGs, for the next big game. And everyone is taking advantage of that kind of desire, right?
Yeah, and if you watch any of the other big streamers too, like, Lyric, Shroud, all these, players, everyone is really excited for something like, like Atlas or any MMORPG. I mean, these people jump on the MMORPG bandwagon because we're all looking for that next great MMORPG to relive our old World of Warcraft experiences, maybe our old RuneScape experiences, whatever, that first, high we got from MMO. So there's such a demand out there. And it's just so sad that we're getting, bamboozled by stuff like Bless and stuff like Atlas, kind of just tugging on those hopes, our hopes and dreams, and they give us this product. There's one last clip I want to show you. This is actually one of the most popular clips for the game right now. Put the audio. You need audio for this one. This one's great.
Okay.
This is serious. Everybody in Uganda listen. The movie's on. The movie's on. The movie's on. The tiger is in the cage.
Get him.
Hello. Super fighter. Pack it up. What's happening? Around. Action packed movie. Probably would do not
What's going on?
Microphone. Expect the unexpected. Mamma mia. This is VJM live from Kampala, Uganda.
That's that was basically the Atlas launch experience in a nutshell, boys. All right, and it's there are quite a few meme clips. I do recommend you just go to just search like Atlas clips on Twitch, and you'll find an sort by most viewed. There's a lot of fun stuff to check out. The game as it is most certainly a disappointment. And I do wish, like I've actually been saying for a long time, my dream MMORPG would be mixing like some have Rust-like elements or Ark-like elements in an MMORPG setting. Like I love Rust. It's actually my favorite survival game by a landslide. And playing this actually made me appreciate just how much better of a game Rust is. But obviously Rust had a ton of problems at launch. They fixed it over the years. But if I could play Rust with like 40,000 players in a single server, in a large persistent server that doesn't just reset all the time, like every week at least, like that would be awesome. With some actual like Code and Exile style character building. Like I like Code and Exiles a lot too. I like survival games, so I went into Atlas thinking, hey, I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this. But at no point did I have fun because the animal spawns were just so frustrating. And what it took from the beginning to get to a usable ship with cannons was like you need to spend like 50 hours of gameplay to do it. And if you want to get like an actual galleon, which you saw in the trailers, are really cool looking galleons. You need a group of like 20 people and like 20 hours of game time each. Or if you're playing with like 3 people, forget about it. You can't do it. So it ended up being this really hodgepodge like survival game with some like boat elements and pirate elements. But I think everybody wanted a pirate game with some survival elements, not the other way around.
And Omar, if you look at the screen now, I pulled up the menu thing with the Ark. So as you can see here, there's an Ark, story Ark, and you can see the DLC, and there's one called Ocean, and that is what this game is. So,
yeah, I think so. It makes a lot of sense because the UI is identical to Ark.
And to another piece of evidence for how much demand there is for a game like this, before Ark even launched, it was a #1 game on Twitch. All the big streamers were literally staring at the menu, like the logo, okay, with the countdown clock, and that was the most watched thing on Twitch that day. I mean, it's amazing how many people were just sitting there. Hundreds of thousands, at least 200,000 people were sitting there watching this timer go down and a logo, just because they were so excited to see this, new, amazing 40,000 player persistent world stuff.
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hyped for it too because again, this does kind of fit my criteria for my ideal MMORPG. It just didn't work out, and I think this gives maybe New World will do better. It's just so weird to me that they felt the need to, from announcement to release, to make it 2 weeks. That was kind of cool, right? But they just clearly weren't ready.
No.
Why not take like another month or two and actually make something that's somewhat useful here? I mean, clearly we're not the only ones that feel this way either. Look at Steam. The game's got like 80% negative reviews or something. People are absolutely shitting on this game because it's unapproachable. As is. The way the game was like for the first like 3-4 days, it's completely unapproachable. I haven't played it today. I might do it later tonight before I refund it. But as is, it's definitely no go. I just wish we get an MMORPG that kind of lives up to the hype. And this would have been exciting because we've all played games like WoW clones. This would be something different. A 40,000 player concurrent MMORPG, MMO world. It would have been awesome. They just really let us down.
Yep. Another. Well, the beautiful thing about this is, I think we're going to see more scams like this next year, because
they've seen it works.
Well, exactly. Before Atlas, the scam was like this: you got to make this really fancy looking idea with some renderings and some trailer maybe, and do a Kickstarter and promise everything and say it's going to take us like 5 years. Mm-hmm. But now they learn you can just promise the ocean and the whole world and in 2 weeks later get everyone's money. You don't have to like have this roadmap and like all this stuff, all these interviews, and you can just literally be like, hey guys, we're gonna make Star Citizen 3.0. It's gonna be like 10 times bigger universe, bigger galaxy. They give us $25 coming out next week, and people will do it. People will give you the money
because everyone's interested in that next MMO. Everyone wants it, and honestly, it did really feel like a big letdown from that trailer. That trailer was actually pretty well done. That trailer got me pretty hyped for the game.
Yeah.
And it was completely misleading. To do any of the stuff in the trailer, you got to spend like 1,000 hours of just gathering resources forever. And I even tell you about like the food in the game. Having to manage your resources was so bad. Again, if it was purely a survival game, I get it, right? But unlike I'm pretty sure this exists in Ark as well. But because I haven't played Ark, but unlike Rust, not only do you have food and water, but you also have vitamins. So my character was like, I was dying of food. I need more food for my character. And there's like I got like 500 strawberries on the ground, right? And I ate like 500 strawberries, and my character went from like 10% hunger to like 25% hunger from eating like 500 strawberries. And then my screen's turning red. I'm like, what's going on? Why am I dying? And my character just drops dead after I eat like 500 strawberries. And I look at it, I said, I died from like vitamin C overdose. Apparently, I had too many strawberries is gonna kill you.
Yeah, that's right. One of the features is so I think on the right side you have like these 5 bars, And if any of them get too high, you die. If they get too low, you die. You got to keep them all in balance to get a.
Who thinks that's fun? Who thought like I get the managing food and water as a resource. It makes some sense. You know, I know Russ does it as well. But like I died from eating too many strawberries with vitamin C overdose. You can't overdose of vitamin C from like a normal amount. You can eat like they have the tablets at like.
I dare you to eat 500 strawberries and tell me how you feel.
Listen, Altay, I only ate 500 strawberries because my character was still hungry. Okay. My character was even like 10% full after eating 500 strawberries. All right, it made no sense. Like I was watching other streamers who did eat like a whole cow every like 5 minutes to stay alive. Like the amount of food your character to consume to stay alive in Atlas made no kind of sense. Like you would think like very obviously those numbers would start off pretty generous, and they kind of scale it to make it more sensible, right? Like make it so you don't need to eat crazy amounts, and then increase it to make it more difficult as needed. But they started in such a I don't know who fine-tuned those numbers, but they make no sense, 0 sense.
Yeah, I think here's the problem though. They shot so much goodwill that I think the best they can get, if they're lucky, is like Conan Exile's numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So the dream is dead. I'm gonna get my refund. Atlas, you're dead to me. But I had, with all that said, I had fun with this game for this month.
I had fun as well because of the pure memery.
Yeah.
And like everyone was just shitting on the game like together. It was so fun. Like everyone's on the game, and I just see people like having a miserable time, saying the game is shit. Like that community, that camaraderie of just collectively shitting on this game was actually a lot of fun.
Yeah. Like I said, I had a blast with some friends on the official Discord the day of the launch, and we were all just memeing and looking at the streams and making like trying to get in. It was fun.
Mm-hmm. That's enough for Atlas, boys. This is a firm no-go from Team MMOs.com.
Yep.
All right, this is a firm.
Get your
firm
refund.
thumbs down.
Get your refund, boys. And
Altay, what do you think? Is Atlas or Bless? What's a better game? What would you rather play if you're doomed to eternity to play a game?
I was doomed. Well, first of all,
there's more to do in Atlas, so it might be kind of winning by default over there. But
it's winning on default there. But here's the thing: I actually was able to play Bless. I leveled up. Like I was.
Yeah,
playing.
that's true. It was more playable. Bless was way more playable.
I couldn't play Atlas the first 2 days. I tried. I just couldn't play it. I couldn't even log in. So I might go with Bless. But here's the thing: Bless did the long con, right? At least Atlas kind of shanked us in the front, like real quick, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Bless kind of dragged it out for a long time.
Yep. Bless like, oh no, we got a new engine coming in like a year. Remember that?
Yeah,
they just lied to us.
They outright lied with the new engine, basically. With new
combat,
it was more like it was more kind of douchey. But we were also kind of lied about with the 40,000 players. You know, they hyped it up so much, and they never mentioned that. Okay, JK, not really 40,000 concurrent players. Actually, servers of 150. Like, come on, you can't hype up the 40K players and do that bullshit. That it's kind of a scam. Like they're not outright lying to you, but they lied through omission. You know, but whereas they are the folks at Bless outright lied about the new and improved optimized gameplay experience.
Yeah. So,
honestly, Bless I think was less of a scam.
Less of a scam. Yeah, I mean, it was more of a game. Yeah.
Yeah, you can actually play it.
But yeah, my only credit to Atlas is at least it was in and out quick. Okay, it didn't it didn't harass you for too long, or it didn't abuse you for long. You know.
Yeah.
A swift backhand, bam, and it's done with you.
Backhand and done, boys.
Yep. All right. Well.
Anyway.
Speaking of perpetual scams, we got
to mention Star. This is a big news for Star Citizen came out this last week.
All right, so this is the alternative to Atlas, guys. Instead of being scammed real quick for $25 in 3 weeks, they scam you for hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars over 10 years. But there is another ray of hope has come out of nowhere, and they have managed to raise $46 million from a private investment group. The guy apparently is a record label billionaire. Have you ever heard of him? I never heard of him before this.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, they gave the company $46 million in exchange for 10% of the company, and with this money, they promised to have the single-player game called Squadron 42 available by 2020.
Interestingly, there's nothing on the Persistent Universe game. So I actually found that first I was actually impressed that they raised money from outside investors, which kind of gave them some more credibility in my eyes. And they actually released full financials, well not financials, outlining their revenues and expenses, basically showing how much money they've raised, how much they've spent on various things, and they're still like net positive on cash flow. They have like 10+ million in the bank, so they're still financially sound right now. But it was really remarkable to see that they said we're aiming for Squadron 42 to release sometime this summer of 2020. And they didn't really mention anything for the Persistent Universe version of the game. No kind of release date or even estimate. And I do think it's a bit of a weird maneuver because I think most people that funded Star Citizen during the Kickstarter and most people that were excited for it we're excited for the Persistent Universe MMO version, not the single player version. So I'm going to call it right now. Squadron 42 is going to happen. 100%. I would bet that Squadron 42 is definitely going to happen. I don't doubt that for a second right now. I'm like 99% sure Squadron 42 will happen. I'm still not sure if the Persistent Universe is going to happen. That's what I'm unsure about. I know we'll get the other version. I'm not sure about the MMO version, because they have something for Squadron 42 already, and they can release a really half-assed product if they want to. I think it's easy to release a half-assed janky single-player product than like an MMO product. So plus MMO product requires much more, much harder to make. So we're gonna get something for Squadron 42 for sure.
You know what's funny? I think they're just buying time with the single player, and they're hoping some technological breakthrough in networking makes the MMO part possible in the future.
Yes, exactly. They're going to hope they can take their single-player game and add some like MMO elements to it, right? Yes, I think 100% that's what they're going to go for. I think that's where all the energy is going towards right now. Because once they release Squadron 42, they can just sell it at retail as well and make some more money that way.
Do you remember how poorly PUBG ran with 100 players when it first launched? And still, it doesn't run well still, right?
Yeah.
I just don't... And if Atlas has taught us anything, it's the current technology, okay, is clearly not there for a full 3D world that can support, hundreds of clients. Like, it just does not exist. That we do not have the technology.
We've seen it actually work to a degree in PlanetSide 2, and I actually do have to thinking back at all the other MMOs out there. PlanetSide 2 is probably the most impressive. Maybe I don't know how that backend works, or maybe it was a really jankily put together system, but in general, it worked. You could have 500 plus players on a single battlefield, and it generally worked. Yeah, you had some higher some lag issues, but you could actually play in that environment, and it was actually pretty intense. We have it since PlanetSide 2 and PlanetSide 1 actually. We really haven't seen that large scale in any MMO or any online game. We've been kind of hard capped at 100 for Battle Royale. I mean, before that, we were kind of hard capped at 64 for Battlefield games, right? For multiplayer. Now 100 seems to be the limit. I remember reading when PUBG first came out that they were going to aim for 150, 200 players on their game at once, and they're only going to start with 100. That was their starting point. But at no point did we get to 200 or 150. We've been stuck at 100 for all these games. So there is clearly some kind of a bottleneck on the back end, or no one's been able to piece together a good system to have reliably all these players on the screen. Yeah,
it's a few, like you said, a few games have pulled it off somehow with their own kind of system, whether it's PlanetSide or even Minecraft. There are Minecraft servers that support hundreds of players, and they seem to work. But all the big engines apparently can't seem to run even 100 players well just yet, and they're just recently now catching up to 100. And Spatial OS is another company trying to do stuff with more units. But I do know that there is a playable alpha for Star Citizen. And it's kept at a very low number. I think it's 50 clients in one server or galaxy. Whatever.
Yeah, it's almost like a lobby-based, the way Star Citizen works right now. So it's not an MMO.
So I think what they realize is there's absolutely zero way to scale that to a persistent universe like they want. And they're hoping that by 2020 they can sell the single-player game and buy themselves a couple more years and maybe there'll be a big breakthrough in networking, But as it stands, I agree with you, Mark. I don't think there's any chance of the persistent world that Star Citizen promised us ever actually coming out anytime soon.
Yeah, and it's not even in the works. I think they've realized that nothing. We can't make any progress here. So they're going to work on the Squadron 42. And interestingly, putting this news up reminded me again of Ash Creation with the Battle Royale mode they launched, right? With their that's out right now, by the way. Ash Creation Apocalypse. And Apocalypse, I think, is all we're going to get for Ash Creation. There will be no MMO version, or not for years and years and years. Well, instead we have Apocalypse, which is some kind of MOBA. Battle arena, I guess, because you do have there's battle royale mode, there's some PvP fighting mode, basically just a multiplayer action game. It's not an MMORPG as is, and they said they released it to test their game systems, right? But no, that's not true, because if they're dedicating resources doing a battle royale mode for Apocalypse, now in what world is a battle royale mode for Asher Creation Apocalypse going to help the MMORPG version? It's not. These are unrelated. You're using resources. People funded Asher Creation MMORPG, and they're getting a battle royale multiplayer fighting game. What? And if that's a freebie extra, I get that, but they're putting resources on this now. And I think at least it's something. It's playable, but it just feels like it makes me think that we're not going to get the MMORPG version.
I think we can, because Asher Creation is on Unreal, and and by the way, the Arc engine is Arc and Atlas are on Unreal as well. I mean, there's modifications, of course, but it is an Unreal game. And as we can clearly see, Unreal just cannot handle these high client numbers. It just
wasn't Traha on Unreal as well, and that game ran like absolute trash.
Yeah. Well, that's an old game now. That was Unreal 3.
I know. Yeah. So it's just so disappointing. And like it does feel like the release of Apocalypse and now doubling down on Squadron 42 with no mention of the Star Citizen persistent universe. It makes you think this is all we're going to get. And it's kind of sad if it ends up being that way. But, they still have till 2020 to even do Squadron 42. I mean, how long are they going to keep I feel like Star Citizen is going to raise money for such a long time. I don't understand the kind of person that funds a game like this. Especially people that wanted to play the MMO. I don't get it. And the same thing for Astro Creation. I don't know.
It should be noted though, despite raising 46 million, and this has basically been shown as good news, and which I think it is. At least it shows at least one big wealthy outsider believes their numbers and their schedule. But it's only 1 year worth of their crowdfunding revenue. So like you said, Omar, they released some numbers here, and this is their income per year since 2012. So we can see in 2017 they raised for about 44 million, it seems. And here are their expenses. So again, 2017 they spent about 49 million. So they are either spending at or a little bit above.
Yeah, right about. Yeah.
So they actually have no money. They have very little money in the tank. So they needed this investment. Like if they didn't get this investment, the whole project would have shut down.
No, I think they could have borrowed money, but yeah, they were operating on the edge. I think their most recent, in their financial page, they say they have a net position of like 12 million. So they still have 12 million in the bank after all expenses.
That's 3 weeks. I mean, it's 3
Yeah,
months.
it's 3 months worth of expenses. Yeah, so they were approaching a point where they were operating on the edge. I don't think they released a balance sheet because I don't know if they have any debt on the books, right?
They do. They definitely have that. Come on.
Okay. So yeah, they did need the money as well, and the $46 million was for 10% of the company. So it valued Star Citizen, the whole company that makes Star Citizen, at $460 million, which I think is pretty high.
It is high, and actually this kind of segues into something I want to cover real quick. So despite being probably the preeminent PC gaming project out there right now, right, Star Citizen. Yeah. In terms of budget, in terms of hype, in terms of aspiration, right? It's worth about $460 million at the moment. And that seems like a lot, right? But I want to compare that to another game that recently got bought out.
Oh, yeah. It's the one that Zynga bought.
Exactly. So there was some other investments going on in the gaming space this week. Zynga, known for Farmville fame,
they're still around.
Purchased a company that makes Empires and Puzzles. That's their singular game. It's a mobile game. And
I bet you never heard about this one, boys.
No, I hadn't heard about it until I read this news. And they paid $560 million for 80%, with a pledge to buy the remaining 20%, based on how well it does in the next couple of years. But this company is valuing the deal at over $700 million. So this game,
let's see the $700 million game.
Exactly.
Altay, show us.
This game is $700 million. Okay, compared to $460 for Star Citizen, boys. All right, here we go. Oh, look at that. How exciting! Another one of these strategy, base building. You click on the windmill. Right? Oh, look, there's some cards going on. It looks like we got some units here.
How exciting!
Wow. Yeah.
This is a $700 million game.
$700 million.
Zynga bought this company for $700 million valuation. It's a mobile game where you have basically the same base building elements we've seen in Ebony, Game of War, Final Fantasy 15, A New Empire, and they also mix up some puzzle element to it too, which I'm sure you'll see in the video.
That's right. So not only can you build a little base, my lord, but let's see, they show it to you here. Oh, and this is the actual game. Wow, look at that! Some innovative, bejeweled gameplay. We haven't seen this before.
Original, boys. No one's been able to combine Bejeweled and RPG gameplay before. All right, this is literally Puzzle and Dragon clone. Like they took some Puzzle and Dragon elements and they combined it with the nonsense mobile strategy game, and they're worth $700 million. Honestly, with all the shit we give Star Citizen, I'm more excited for Star Citizen than I am for this game. All right, Star Citizen looks like not a scam at all compared to this. Like at least this looks like pure garbage. Like,
it's amazing.
It actually hurts my soul that when these game companies see this level of success making trash games, because what's going to happen is like these Zynga, Nexon, Activision Blizzard, they're going to hire the best programmers from the best universities who grew up playing real games like World of Warcraft, EverQuest, Warcraft 3, people that grew up playing real games, and they're going to pay them the big bucks to make this trash. They'll be like, listen, this is where the money is. We want you to make this. They'll get paid. So all the talent in the world, in the gaming industry, is now being paid to make trash that you're seeing in the video in the background. And
I think that's a point that people don't recognize enough. Because look, a lot of people perhaps many watching are thinking, well, who cares if mobile games are growing, right? It's unrelated to us. Who cares if that market is 10 times bigger, 100 times bigger? As long as I can still, I'm on PC, I'm playing PC games. What Omer said is the problem. If the mobile game company is making $1 billion, right? They are going to go to the MIT, whatever, Harvard, wherever these engineers learn this programming and game making, and they're going to offer them big salaries. So the people left making the PC games, like let's say there's a company that only makes PC games, they're going to be basically left paying. Well, first of all, they have less money now because all the money is going to mobile, but they're also left at the bottom of the pool of talent. So the talent in the PC sector is also going to decrease relative because of the success of mobile.
And then the people, and you can see where, how much talent has already left the PC industry because, we have Atlas. All the geniuses that are working on Atlas, they programmed a great game, they designed a great game. Unfortunately, all the AAA, the really good designers are now relegated to making mobile games. The people left are giving us stuff like Atlas.
We got this with Blizzard. Remember, the co-founder of Blizzard resigned, and no one knows why, but I suspect it's because the orders came in from Activision that, look, guys, you got to focus on mobile. That's where the money is. Stop, don't waste your money on this PC stuff. Put your best guys on your best teams into mobile games.
Because it's a sad world we live in. I got to say this one more time because this hurts my soul immensely. Final Fantasy 15, A New Empire, the mobile piece of shit strategy game, has made more revenue than Final Fantasy 15. Again, Final Fantasy 15, the mobile strategy game, it's a spin-off game made by the guys that make Game of War. It has more gross revenue than all of Final Fantasy 15. And it's so bad. It is so bad. And it's such a pay-to-win clusterfuck of garbage. I've tried to play it purely because I was curious, and it's so soul-crushingly bad. It's the same garbage we've seen in other mobile strategy games, but all the talented designers, all the talented programmers are working on games like that now. It is truly depressing because I think, like my brother said, a lot of people don't realize that talent isn't there anymore. The talent, that most skilled programmers, the most skilled designers are working on pay-to-win mobile games. And look, not every mobile game is awful, but I do want to say the mobile strategy game as a whole drives me insane how bad those games are. Hey, Karina, thanks for the sub. Much love. At least when I see a game like Epic 7 or even that Destiny Child game that Altay's been playing, look, it's nothing original, right? But there's something more there. It's an auto-play game. It's got some really good art, some great booby art. Oh, A+ booby art. But there's something more. There's a little bit more there than there is for mobile strategy games.
And well, you mentioned Final Fantasy 14, and of course, as you know, Final Fantasy 14 is made by Square Enix, and Square Enix is valued at about $3.3 billion, right?
2 billion EV. Let's go with the 2 billion number. Makes it more reasonable.
Yeah, it's worth $2 billion. Square Enix is worth $2 billion. There's a company called Niantic which makes Pokemon Go, right? Do you know how much Niantic is valued at?
I'm not sure. How much do they make? All they have is Ingress and
they have two
Pokemon
games.
Go, right?
Yeah, Ingress.
Nobody plays Ingress. They have Pokemon Go.
Okay. Well, Niantic is worth $4 billion. So that means Pokemon Go is worth twice as much as all of Square Enix, including that strategy game and Final Fantasy 14 and the whole Final Fantasy series and EDOS and Hitman and Tomb Raider and whatever else they make.
Yeah, so Square Enix has been a big gaming company for a long time, since we're talking NES days, right? Maybe even before then, right? They have iconic franchises like Final Fantasy, Tomb Raider, Hitman, all the EDOS titles. They've been around forever. Dragon Quest. They make one of my favorite MMORPGs, Final Fantasy 14. They're worth about $2 billion enterprise value. That's basically market cap minus cash, if you're curious. So they're worth about $2 billion, and this company is worth $4 billion for one. And the thing is, Pokemon Go doesn't even own the Pokemon IP. They license that from Nintendo and the Pokemon Company. So they don't even own their own IP, and they make one mobile game. It's remarkable.
But it is true that they have another IP licensed game coming out soon. Next year, 2019, we're going to see the release of Harry Potter Ingress. So I don't know, you're going to be walking around fighting Dumbledore. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work, but
it's going to be a reskin Pokemon Go with Harry Potter stuff, probably.
You throw wands and you catch like Hermione. I don't
Hot.
let
me get some of that Hermione, boys. We are living in interesting times for PC gaming, unfortunately. And interesting in a bad way.
All right.
At least, Epic 7 and Destiny were half decent. So again, bit sad. I don't know.
Well,
It leaves me a little defeated.
I'm actually excited to read about this news, not because I particularly enjoy these mobile games, but because it is interesting to see how the winds are shifting. And here's a personal story. I went out to dinner with one of Donut, my girlfriend, her friend, and her friend has kids. And I think they're like 10-ish. So we're all at the restaurant, and they have their phones out and they're playing Fortnite on their phone. And like, oh, do you play this game? I'm like, yeah, but I play on the computer. And I'm like, do you just play it on the phone? He's like, I have a PlayStation. I'm like, okay, do you play it on PlayStation? He's like, no, I prefer it on the phone. So he prefers to play Fortnite on his phone.
How old is he?
Like 10-ish? I don't know.
Okay, so just let this sink in, everyone. I don't think we have any 10-year-olds watching us, but like, I want you guys to know that the kids today, the 10-year-olds, they prefer to play Fortnite on their phone than they play on the PS4 with a controller. I mean, obviously PC is still the best for us, but they would rather the garbage touch controls than playing. They prefer that. They have access to the PS4.
Yes, they have a PS4.
He just tells us that everyone watching this stream, we're gonna be extinct. We're dinosaurs. Like, no one's gonna make games for us. The funny thing is, almost everyone on this stream, like a lot of us play mobile games too for fun. But, like, we typically prefer to play, like, if a game is cross-platform play between PC and mobile, like a game like Fortnite, we'd all rather play on the PC because you're just literally limited by worse controls on mobile. But no, the kids today prefer those shitty controls.
Yeah, and normally in a situation like this, I would kind of like ignore the kids. There's 3 kids in total, but I was interested because I wanted to learn about their habits. The girl who's younger, I think, I don't know, 8, I guess. I asked her. She asked if she could borrow my phone at the restaurant so she could play Roblox. I'm like, oh, Roblox, yeah, I heard of that. Roblox is actually a very old game, and I remember playing it when it was a PC only game. And I go, yeah, I play Roblox on PC. Do you play it on PC? And she's like, no, I prefer it on the phone. It's the same thing. So there's a game. She has a laptop at home. I'm presuming she can't always be on it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they have to share it or something. But she prefers to play Roblox on the phone over PC. So both console and PC are substandard compared to the phone interface for these kids.
Now, this is remarkable for me. This is actually news to me because I didn't know kids actually preferred the mobile. I understood that when they weren't home or like they like playing on mobile, but if they had choice of both like on PS4 and on like mobile, they prefer the PS4. That was my initial thought. So it's actually news to me that that's not the case.
I think. Well, I'm trying to think it over too, and I think a lot of it has to do with privacy, maybe. Because I mean, these 10-year-olds, I doubt they have a TV in their own room.
Yeah.
Maybe they. I don't know. So I think with the phone, they can kind of go somewhere quiet, away from their siblings, away from the parents, right? Or like they could be at school or outside or with their friend's house. Whereas a PlayStation is not portable, right? That's my guess. I don't know.
Makes sense. Yeah. Makes sense.
But they love Brawl Stars. That's a new game that came out by the guys who made Clash Royale and Supercell. So they love that game. That game is hot right now, apparently.
Time to invest in mobile, boys. It's where all the money's at.
I don't imagine that generation ever really graduating to PC because they're going to be so used to the mobile phone.
I mean, that like generation also grew up watching Finger Family, Elsa Gate videos on YouTube too. So maybe that really screwed them up as a growing up. Because like if you haven't seen that, like if you haven't looked into that, there's a subreddit called Elsa Gate. There's these algorithmically generated YouTube videos of like this colorful stuff happening on screen that make no sense, but kids are absolutely in love with it. It's like the weirdest thing. So these kids grew up watching these Elsa Gate videos, and they're just enchanted by mobile or something. I don't know.
It's actually a Chinese plot. See, the Finger Family song has propaganda to get you to buy some Huawei phones.
Yeah, exactly. I was actually, I was eating dinner last night by myself, and I look at the table next to me. This is like this family, and there's this small like Chinese kid. He's like, I don't know, 5 or something or 4. He's watching one of those videos, those Elsa Gate videos, and he's just watching it. He was completely like he wasn't like acting up at all. He was enchanted. He couldn't keep his eyes off it. And the video was like in French too, because like it was like showing you the colors. He's not French. He can't understand what the hell's going on. It doesn't matter. He got lost into the colors. So it's remarkable just how big these are. It's so weird. It's almost scary. Like it looks like brainwashing to me as an adult looking at this.
Here we are, boy. You're old. I
would have let my kids watch this.
Hold up. Alright, how is this different than our dad? Imagine our dad, who grew up in like a rural province of Turkey. Okay, imagine what he thought when he was watching us play EverQuest, 12 hours a day when we were in elementary school. He must have thought we're being brainwashed too, right?
No, at least it was engaging. There was something more there.
But could he tell? Could he tell that?
I think he could.
Really?
You can see our hands on the mouse and keyboard. Okay, when you watch these kids watching these Elsa Gate videos, these finger family videos, there's nothing going on. It's just a little brainwashing. The colors just appearing on the screen.
Well,
there's no involvement.
In his little head, there's a whole world unfolding, like with like these like subplots and like this whole like possibility.
Altay, if you had a kid, would you let them watch?
No.
I never. No way. I'd rather they watch porn at a young age than watch that. I'd watch anything but that.
If my 4-year-old was watching porn on his phone at a restaurant, I would be very...
No. Listen. I wouldn't let him do it either, right? But like, I'd be more upset if I saw him watching this. If I catch him watching those finger family videos, all right?
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the flip side. So, okay, so this friend has like a total of 3 kids, right? And I can imagine how exhausting that is. So at the end of the day, after work, they both the mom works full-time job. Like, I mean, the kids are bouncing like, "Mom, look at this. Let me show you this." Da, 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 da. I mean, it's so much relief to just give him the phone. Like, here you go. Just take this and look at your stupid fingers, family.
I'll give him the phone. I'll lock it on Vsauce. Hey guys, Vsauce.
They don't want to. They're gonna put it down and start jumping up and down. Ma, look at it. Dad, look at this. Dad, look what I did. And you're gonna be like,
I don't know. Fine, go watch your other nonsense.
Yeah, go watch your finger family.
At least it might get something out of Vsauce, right? Maybe. All right, let's change gears a little bit. This story kind of grinded my gears a little bit. I know you apparently found it as well, so maybe you can introduce us to this story. But I read this just before the stream, and it grinded my gears.
Okay, so here's the thing. I honestly think this was kind of clickbait-ish. I mean, she can't be serious.
No, I think she is. This is not like a parody website. I think this is
it's a real website.
It's a legit site. This is not like meant for memes. Gamesindustry.biz is not a meme website. It's not like a joke. It's supposed to be generally serious topics. I don't think I've seen any parody things on here. So this was serious.
Yeah. So I read this. Okay. So she's basically complaining that there aren't enough women in esports. I mean, so for the first bit, you can kind of object to her attitude. But she's right. At the end of the day, there just aren't that many women in esports, right?
Her attitude is awful in this article.
Sure,
it just seems so disingenuous.
The attitude I can get over, right? Because we can agree to disagree on attitude. That's just phrasing, right? But this is the part I took issue with. Let me see if I can find it. Oh man. So why don't you explain the article while I find this one phrase that I hated?
Okay, there's a lot in this article which I hate. So she's complaining that there's not enough diversity or women in esports. And she actually mentions right at the beginning that I've talked to the game companies, and like Riot Games has partnered with Women in Games France to sponsor an esports incubator for women, and apparently Overwatch's some esports guys working on it, NBA 2K's Brendan Donahue. These people are working on getting girls more involved in esports. And you know what she says? And despite all this, everyone agreeing to work on this, nothing's being done basically. These are lukewarm responses. These appear to be universal from those in power. The people in power are just making these gestures to include women, but they're not actually serious about including women. These are just gestures. Okay, the attitude there is just driving me nuts. And there's so much disingenuous about this article too, because she points out half of people that play video games are girls. Yeah. Half of people that play the biggest esports events should be girls as well. And she links studies saying 50% of gamers are girls, right? But she fails to mention that in esports, only 25% of people that watch or interested in esports are girls. But she mentioned this 50% figure, and the 50% figure she mentions only exists because 75% of mobile gamers are girls. So she's equating mobile gaming and esports on PC gaming, because she always refers to the biggest events, like the League of Legends World Championship, the Overwatch World Cup, the International for Dota 2. These events are PC events. The women interested in these games are so much less than the overall gaming percentage. And she links these studies and conflates them together. It's actually really frustrating to read, because I clicked into her sources and she's just using incorrect data, or rather using data when she shouldn't. It doesn't support her points that she's trying to make. And it's just really frustrating to read this article, because it's driving me insane. And she's complaining that, if we're lucky, a single woman will be on stage behind a casting microphone, and there's 0 non-binary individuals as well.
Yeah, but first of all, she threw him non-binary twice. It just kind of seemed like tacked on.
Yeah.
So that was kind of weird. Because I think there actually was a pretty well-known StarCraft 2 player who was.
It was a trans girl, the Scarlet.
Yeah. So I mean, you do see it when it's I mean, when they get to the top, you see it. I mean, I don't know why. If anything, I don't see why. If I was like a league owner or like a team owner, and I happened to chance into the one rare, woman that was really good at the game, I would kind of hype it up more than it deserves because now I can stand out, right? So I think the incentives are not to hide female talent. If it exists, if anything, you wanna project it, make it bigger than it seems, just because it's rare and you can stand out that way.
And she interviews a couple girls in the industry, and they clearly say that there just aren't enough women that are that you can possibly uplift. I mean, they play games for different reasons, and they don't exist in the numbers that she kind of claims they did with 50-50. It's not 50-50 in Dota 2. I'm sorry, it's just not. The data's not like that. So you can't expect 50-50 or even close to that. And obviously, people play games for different reasons too. Like you said, I'm sure that they would love to have they would. It's an opportunity to get almost like you can monetize it really well if you get a woman in the top tier.
Here's what baffled me. Okay, it doesn't help that there appears to be a massive gender pay gap for streamers.
Oh, I hated that too.
First of all,
I read the article.
Yeah, streamers. Anyone can be a streamer. We're a streamer, right? I mean, but we're not getting. We're not like an employee. We're not salaried. It's up to us how much we choose to stream, how much we give incentive. By the way, for those of you who subscribe, we're appreciative, but we don't go out of our way to give you special titles or anything. We could do all that stuff and then we get more, but we don't. We make a choice. So to the extent that guys are getting more money if they stream, it's because they probably stream longer. It's how they're doing more incentives, they're networking more, whatever it is, right? There are reasons why these streamers get more than someone else. It's not, I would actually argue that probably if you're like a lazy streamer, it probably helps to be a girl. If we were both big titty girls and we stream 1 hour a week, I think we make more than we currently are, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, so I don't get that part. I don't think it's a gender thing there.
Also, the thing is, I read the article about the U.S. has the largest gender pay gap for video game streamers. The article, she is, of course, the author as well, Rebecca Valentine. And it just seems like this would be purely based on just the sampling of what came up, because numbers are really close anyway, with the number of people in the U.S. that got paid versus women. So let me see if we can find the number. All right, so probably 38% of men who stream are not paid for, compared to 43% of women. According to 30% of men who stream are not paid for it. So the numbers are very close. 38% of men who stream don't make anything, and 40% of women don't get paid anything. But surprise, surprise. If you look at Twitch and you look at how many streamers have 0 viewers or 1 viewer, that's 90% of Twitch. So these numbers don't even make sense to me because 90% of Twitch streamers don't make a penny anyway. So it just purely came from where they sampled the data. I don't think it's even it doesn't even pass a sniff test of how obviously bullshit this data is. Yes, I get the fact that the biggest streamers are men across the board. Yeah, I get that. And you want to talk about on the high end, I think there's a good article to be written about, the biggest streamers being men. But I don't think there's any kind of article to be written about the gender pay gap on the low end, where it's saying, more women get paid 0 than men. Like my brother said, I think it's much easier to be a lazy women streamer than it is for a lazy male streamer.
Yep. And
obviously, every stream's got to work hard to get anything, right? But if you want to be on the absolute laziest, it's easier to be a lazy woman than it is for a lazy man in terms of streaming. But on the high end, there is definitely some... You will get a lot more shit for being a girl and you're playing video games. I mean, any of us that played video games kind of acknowledge that. But I think another issue with that is, the article also mentioned one of the issues with girls in esports is they don't like taking flack from other people. And I do think that they get more shit, but it's not to say guys don't get shit either. I think guys can deal with getting shit on more in video games.
Yeah.
And this applies to everything. Like men can take negative feedback without it consuming them as much. Girls cannot get criticized they can't accept being criticized as well as men can, which kind of turns them away from being in the spotlight, I think.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. If you're a male streamer, you're probably gonna be ignored if you're new.
Yeah.
And B, if someone does trash talk you're gonna trash talk back or just ban them and move on.
Yeah.
But I think a woman is under more stress under that situation.
Yeah. I think it was a fun Joe Rogan podcast. We don't usually bring up Joe Rogan, but I think he said the idea that there's an unrealistic beauty standard that only applies to women. You know that, right? The unrealistic beauty standard is what women complain about. When the example Joe Rogan used, that guy on Aquaman, that Jack dude who was no guy looked at that and said that's an unrealistic standard. He's like, no, you go to the gym, you work out, you might look like that.
You might Khal Drogo.
Yeah, whatever. Khal Drogo. Yeah, like there is no unrealistic beauty standard for men. You know, I feel like men can just look at that and be like, okay, you know, you go to the gym, you work out, you know, you can look good. You know, it's a weird double standard.
Well, okay, I'll say this though. Okay, I think this is more important for streaming. If a guy comes into my stream and starts saying like, "Hey, hey, baby, show me that dick," you know, I bet you got a nice dick, or harassing me, right? You know what I'd do? I'd be like, what are you, gay? And just ban him, right? But a woman will sit there, read it, not ban them, and then complain on Twitter how they're being harassed. Where a guy would just ban it and end it right there. Like, they wouldn't engage with it, you know what I'm saying? Like, or they would just, you know, swear back and move on.
And this isn't just off-the-cuff remarks. I mean, I think if you look into it, you'll find that women do take negative feedback like more personally than men do. And why like advertising works better on women, like a lot of like makeups and stuff. Like there's some data behind this. It's not just, I mean, it does kind of fit the obviousness of it, but there's real data behind this.
Yeah, he's Aquaman. Yeah, he's Aquaman now.
Yeah, he's Aquaman. Whatever. Yeah, Khal Drogo's Aquaman. Like, again, have you ever heard a guy say like, "Oh, you know, it's unrealistic standard of beauty for men"? I've never heard that.
That's true. I haven't heard that.
But you hear that from women all the time. Just go. You know, if you're a guy, you go to the gym, you work out, you look good. All right.
I think I'm gay now.
Nice, and I'll get to it.
Listen. If you can swim in this ice cold, look at the mountains behind him. If you swim in this water every day for like 3 months, you'll be ripped.
Yeah. But yeah, it's. I read this article. Very frustrating the way she conflates data and tries to use it to fit her what she wants. Because it just seems weird to say they should have 50% representation in the biggest esports events and lists the League of Legends World Championship and the International, and then links an article saying that, you know, girls play mobile games more than men, and that's why the numbers are 50-50. You know, numbers are not 50-50 in Dota 2, not even close to it.
Well, maybe when mobile games become bigger and they become the main esports, maybe perhaps women will thrive.
Perhaps
because they're good at doing nothing and, you know, making it look like they're doing something.
What?
Well, mobile games, you don't play. They play themselves, right?
I guess.
So
a lot of them do play themselves.
It's more suited for their mentality, maybe. All right. In other news, Discord actually raised more money this week as well. Did you read this?
No. Oh yeah, a couple $1 billion valuation, right?
Yeah, it's worth $2 billion, which incidentally was the same amount that Square Enix is worth, right? So from now on, going forward in this podcast, we're going to use units of currency as Square Enix's, okay? We're discussing
that's fair.
Other companies. So
yeah, Discord is worth one Square Enix.
Yes, exactly. And they raised this money to help them launch their store. They're competing now with Steam, and they're also competing with Epic. And they're actually offering a better cut than Epic. Epic kind of tried to undermine Steam with an 88 to 12% cut. And now Discord says they're going to do 90-10. So if you list your game on the Discord store, you get 90% of the revenue. Discord gets 10%.
I'm calling here, boys. Tencent is going to make a deal happen with Epic Games and Discord. All right. I think Tencent owns a piece of Discord as well. They've invested in them, you know, a while ago. And they own a piece of Epic Games. And I think for the Epic Games store to do really well, a Discord integration would be amazing. So I think they're going to muscle in on Steam that way. Sometime in 2019, that'll be a big deal, I think.
That's something I think would be mutually beneficial because I think on their own, neither Discord or Epic can really unseat Steam, but together, they can offer a really, really good alternative. And they, like I said, they both do have Tencent as a big investor, so they could make it happen. But from what we know right now, Discord specifically said they are not looking to be bought out. They raise this money so they can avoid having to sell to somebody, and instead use this money to kind of grow their own store.
All right, Altay, I have a question for you. Are you hungry?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Talk about some Project Barbecue.
Oh,
all right.
Good name.
Project Barbecue.
So what is Project Barbecue?
Project Barbecue, I think, is just their code name right now. Apparently, Nexon is working on a brand new PC MMORPG.
What?
An action MMORPG. Yes.
Damn.
It was announced just today, and it's made by Neople, the guys that made Dungeon Fighter Online. So people have been speculating this could be Dungeon Fighter Online 3D, though. Interestingly, I don't think it is, because they would have labeled it Dungeon Fighter Online 3D.
These monsters in the background look like they could be from Dungeon Fighter Online.
They look like they could be. Yeah, there's some orcs walking around in the background. I see that, but like, they could
I know those orcs. Those orcs are the DFO orcs.
Yes, they're the DFO orcs from like the forest place. I know, like super basic. But look at the video. Like, you think they would have chosen more some iconic characters to show off, or some bad guys, some actual characters in the game. So because we haven't seen that, I don't think it's necessarily going to be DF or 3D. But it's going to be a new, it's to be Nexon. It's a PC MMORPG made by Neople, and I think it could be good. Anytime we see a new PC MMORPG, it's exciting because Nexon is such a big company they can afford to hire some of the best talent. They're still working on mobile games, but mobile games aren't that big for Nexon yet. So despite all the hate Nexon gets, they still have their best teams making PC games as well. And gameplay-wise, it looks really smooth.
I think one lesson to be learned in this whole mobile world is you shouldn't discount the value of establishing an IP on a premium service like PC or console or movie. So for example, Lineage Revolution or whatever, right, made a lot of money on mobile, but it made that money because a lot of people Lineage exactly, and people grew up with that franchise and they played it on PC when they were kids, and now they're adults and they have phones. So I think I want to see a funnel created where the IP starts somewhere. Like an anime does this, right? They start with the manga, and they turn it into an anime, and then it turns into some bullshit movie.
Mobile games, yeah.
Mobile games and movies and all this toys and plushies, all other crap. So hopefully they learn, or Nexon doesn't forget that the funnel for games at least starts at PC, and then kind of can filter down.
Look, this looks beautiful too. I'm seeing the gameplay, right? It looks really good. Now here's the thing though. I'm worried that it's going to be yet another Instant Dungeon Persistent Hub style game where we've seen this model used a billion times, from DFO to Vindictus to Dragon Nest to Soul Worker to Critica to every single action MMORPG always has these dungeons you queue into with up to 4 players and various difficulties, and that's it. I mean, it looks really good and polished though, but I'm kind of hoping we get something a little bit different than that model. I've seen that model way too many times.
It's definitely going to be that. I mean, if Neople's making it, why would they veer from that?
Yes, it's probably going to be... I'm just hoping it comes out. I'm hoping it'll be a little different. But yeah, you're right. It's probably going to be that. It's always Instance Dungeons. It's always that way. There's only 3. There's only 3 MMORPGs that are action-oriented that are not instanced. Terra, Blade and Soul, and Black Desert. That's it. There's only 3 that aren't like that. But still, graphically, the game looks great.
Yeah, it does. It looks beautiful. It kind of reminds me of... what's that game we've been waiting for forever? Kind of looks like Period Chronicles. I see a little darker tones, but the graphics look somewhat like Period Chronicles to me. What do you think?
I feel like Period Chronicles is way more anime and way more colorful than this. I mean, this is still colorful too. I get
brighter. It's brighter.
It's brighter, yeah.
But the graphics, I think, look similar. But
a little bit.
It's cel shaded, yeah.
Yeah. But anytime we have a PC MMORPG coming out, I think we should count our blessings, because I think we will reach a time in the near future where everything's gonna be on mobile. PC games will be kind of very niche. So anytime we have a PC game coming out, it should be we should be hyped for it. Indeed. I'll give it a try. There's no. I mean, I think it'll be released in Korea in 2019. No word on any kind of international release. In fact, we don't even know what the game is gonna be called yet. There's no way the game is called Project BBQ. Okay, these Korean companies always call it Project something, and they give it a real name, but time actually rolls around. Well, so they don't have a name for it yet.
You know what the fun thing is though? There are a lot of MMORPGs, mobile MMORPGs coming out, and they are good trailers to watch and good things to talk about. Here's one I like. Okay, So have you heard about this? Traha.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, so I read an interview that these guys did in Korea, and they're great. So one of the interview questions was, well, how does your game stand out, right? I said, it doesn't. It's pretty generic, but we're just hoping the quality and our commitment is enough to find an audience. Now, how honest is that? So
holy shit! You never hear that level of honesty from people. They'll say, "Oh, revolutionary new gameplay." I've heard that term being used for most generic piece of shit ever. Okay, so the fact that these guys come out and say, "You know what? We got nothing special. We're just trying to be, we're trying to make good quality, good production value, and that'll be our differentiator." So I appreciate the honesty.
It is funny. It's a generic fantasy mobile MMORPG on Unreal 4, right? It's being published by Nexon, and they even said we don't really. They asked them, when is it coming out in the West or global, right? They said we don't know. We left all the publishing to Nexon. We're just focusing on making the game.
Interesting. Again, PC MMORPG, right?
No, mobile.
Mobile. Whoa, this is a mobile game?
Yeah.
All right, this trailer looks really good.
You can kind of tell it's mobile at some parts.
So far, I just started tuning in, visually. I can see it over here now a bit.
Anyway, I like their honesty. I do wish them luck, just based on the underdog vibe I got from them, right? They are an independent developer. They're just working with Nexon as a publisher. And yeah, it's Unreal 4 MMORPG with nothing special. Just a fantasy setting on your phone. But you know what? I'm going to try it. And the only reason I know about it is because of how sincere they were in that interview.
The graphic game looks good. I think we will reach a point again where mobile games kind of escape the mold they're in right now. Mobile MMORPGs or any mobile game. There's really like 5 kind of mobile games, and that's it. They all kind of fit there, whether it's Fate Grand Order, Epic 7, Destiny Child. Like so many of these games, like they fit archetypes, they fit molds. There's like 5 molds for all these games. And I'm really hoping eventually we see a game that makes something a little bit different. Because I think mobile can be a good platform for MMORPGs. It just I haven't seen it done yet, and I've tried. Even Black Desert Mobile, where it's auto playing. I've tried a lot of these mobile games, MapleStory M. And you've been playing Destiny Child this last week quite a bit.
Yeah.
And Destiny Child, isn't it very similar in mold to Fate Grand Order, or even have you the Star Ocean game? Is that also a gacha, stage-based progression?
Yes. But what I like about the Destiny Child is, so many of them do the 2D, what's it called? Like you see your characters, right? And they're kind of fighting other characters. What I like is the, let's call it a vertical turn-based, where the enemy is on a stage and your guys are, you're looking at from your guys' view, kind of.
Yeah.
So instead of left to right, it's up and down. I don't know. I don't know how to describe that, but I love the art style in Destiny Child. And actually, I think they didn't even need to go so far with the sexualization, because I think that turns a lot of people off. I was turned off by that, but by playing it,
I was turned on.
I know, but I actually like the art, even for like the slimes, like the male characters. Like it's all well drawn art. Like it, I think by going so sexualized, I think they probably alienated a lot of people. But it's a good game. I'm playing it. It's not great. I'm pretty much towards the end of my road, because I'm at that point now where I just have to grind for like hours a day to make incremental progress. And yeah, I think I'm in World 6. I don't know if you guys play that game, Destiny Child. How many? I think there's 8 worlds.
Listen, I'm not a fan of the censorship, all right? The censorship is a no-go. I prefer the US version, all right?
Have you tried? I actually downloaded a Dragon Ball Z game on mobile this week. I haven't played it.
Which one?
I did the trailer. I did the tutorial, I should say. I haven't played it yet that much. It's called DB Legends. Dokkan.
I have not played that. Yeah. Oh, Dokkan Battle. Dokkan. Yeah, that one's very popular.
Yeah, it's like a card game / fighter in one. So you can dodge in real time, but you attack with like cards, like punch, kick. Yeah, I haven't got too far into it, so I can't really talk about it.
Interesting. I haven't played that new Brawl Stars yet. In terms of mobile, I'll probably give that one a try. But let me think. What MMOs have been playing this last week? I played a little more Final Fantasy 14 lately. Been doing some nonsense. Finally started progressing through the raid. I still gotta kill Final Omega in that. But I don't think I really played any other MMORPG this last week.
I found another trailer for a mobile game. This one is by the Cosmic Break people. You remember those guys? Yeah,
they're a Japanese game studio.
Yeah, we used to play back for years ago. We played Cosmic Break.
They also had a really what else they have? What else they have?
They had a sequel to Cosmic Break called like Cosmic Break 2 maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, they had that. They had a few other games too. Cyberstep. They had some really wonky stuff. They had Get Amped.
Get Amped.
Amped. That was an oldie. They had Onigiri as well. The thing about this game company is it was really funny because the thing I remember most about them is like they would advertise everywhere like we're a Japanese game company. We're Japanese. Hey guys, we're Japanese. Like they make that so obvious everywhere in the game.
Well,
and do you know what's most obvious? The homepage for their games.
What was the homepage?
Look, do you see that the trailer? The avatar for that trailer.
Let me see here. Oh my goodness. Play for. Oh, look at this. I'm getting pop-ups here.
You see the thumbnails there?
I do see the thumbnail. Yes. Let's see what this is like.
There's a video there too. There's like an anime video showing off the game, and it's quite busty and quite fan service filled.
It's like a filler episode of an anime. They're on the beach.
Of course.
There's always a beach episode.
There is always a beach episode.
But
so what were we saying about Cyberstep before I derailed you?
Let me close that. Okay, I was talking about they're making a mobile game called Breakers, Dawn of Heroes, and here's the trailer for that. So it's pretty much the same game as Get Amped and.
I mean, Get Amped looks really old now.
Yeah.
Gambit was a fighting game, so it was odd. It was kind of like Rumble Fighter, if I remember correctly.
This looks a lot like Rumble Fighter to me, in my opinion.
Is Rumble Fighter still around? Yeah, it is. Through Play Red Fox and on Steam. Rumble Fighter is still alive. Can you believe that? It's an oldie. That was also Mega Pay to Win, if I remember correctly. Mega Pay to Win. Interestingly, Altay, do you know Cyberstep is a publicly traded company?
I did not know that.
Let's see how much they're worth. 6.7 billion yen.
This game is called Breakers Dawn of Heroes, guys, and I will paste that into chat for you guys. I believe they're taking pre-registrations now on iPhone and Android.
Nice.
Is MapleStory 2 available on mobile? No, it is not available on mobile.
Nope.
Though that would be pretty cool. They should do that.
They got MapleStory M, and that's it. Although you played Altay's been on the mobile games. He played MapleStory M for a while. He got like level 70 plus on there. He beat the story in Star Ocean, and he's almost done with the story in Destiny Child. Altay, you played more mobile games than I have.
Listen, you gotta look. I believe
Altay's embracing the future.
If you wanna like have an opinion on something or trash it or like it, you should at least play it, right? So
I'm gonna play it a bit more too. So
I have been playing this. You're right, and I think I have to play it to talk about it or have an opinion on it. So here's I'll show you guys my. But to be honest, I haven't played too much. Let me show you my MapleStory M character. So,
not yet. Neocalypse. It's out in China, and the English version is coming out. I think in probably next few months. It's Ragnarok Eternal Love or something.
So I'm level 87 in MapleStory M.
Mm-hmm.
But you can get there so quick now because it's a burning event. There was no burning when I played.
Yeah.
My dude. Even the character selection screen looks just like the PC version.
I mean, MapleStory M at least looks like PC MapleStory versus the other MapleStory games. So there's something there. I just kind of wish it didn't have the autoplay.
You know what's funny though? The problem is the autoplay trains you to be lazy because I hit a point with autoplay where I didn't know where to go next.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so I had no idea how the world was arranged, so I couldn't go back to like where I was supposed to go because I didn't know where that place was. But if you have to like kind of make your own way at the beginning, you learn the map as you go.
We had the same problem with MapleStory 2, where we kept kind of like auto running between like where you're supposed to go and stuff, and you never actually learned how the maps are connected. You know, I think every modern MMORPG with autoplay or not necessarily autoplay, auto movement, like kind of doesn't teach you the world, and you get kind of lost. Whereas like even going back now, I can draw a pretty accurate map of Victoria Island, MapleStory 1. Yep. An accurate map of like all the starting zones in EverQuest, you know, from Quenos to Karanas to everything there. Like, and a lot of those old games, I can do it.
Yeah, exactly. If you start with a small area at low level and you slowly increase your thing, you can learn a huge amount of information. But the way these games work is they hold your hand until like level 100, let's say, and then they immediately let go of you, right? So
and you blaze through the early zones too, so you never get to learn them.
Yeah, so you basically are like like the coddled kid who like is like 80 or like 30, and his parents are taking care of him, and then all of a sudden they die, parents die. This is kind of a grim example. I don't know what I'm talking about. The parents die, and now this 30-year-old who never left his house is on his own, and he doesn't know how to navigate the world. Whereas if he just learned from from high school or middle school how to navigate the world slowly, he'd be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Don't know if that makes sense, but that's my example I'm going with.
I get it. It makes sense, Altay.
Thank you.
Anything else this week? Anything else exciting?
Well, Intel is making their own GPUs, standalone GPUs.
That sounds like a post-game thing, right, Altay?
All right. Well, let's go to the post-game, talk about some general stuff, and a Merry Christmas to everyone watching, and a Happy New Year, etc.
Happy holidays, Kwanzaa, all that jazz. Yep. Much love.
Yeah, this will be the last podcast of 2018. The next time you see us will be January 1st.
It's New Year's though. Maybe.
Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know if I have any plans. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll find out.
All right. Take care, guys.